Hello, everybody, and welcome to this LinkedIn Live demo session of the Connected Data Platform from Reltio, but this time with a retail slant to it. In fact, how to help you create killer retail customer experiences using the Retail Connected Data Platform. Joining me today is solutions consultant Dan Bergeron, who's going to walk you through a retail demo of the platform. But before I hand over to Dan, I just want to run through two simple things. In the post that you'll see on LinkedIn, there is a link if you want to actually have a bespoke demo of the Reltio Customer Data Platform, Connected Data Platform that's specific to your needs and requirements. So you can go ahead and click on that link and we'll be more than happy to help you. And the second thing is that it is an interactive session. So if you want to comment, suggest anything, post something on LinkedIn, then by all means go ahead and do so, or simply give us a thumbs up. We'd love to see your interactions. Well, no further ado, I'd like to hand over to Dan.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, from wherever you might be tuning in from. Today, we're really going to touch on, creating those killer customer experiences from a retail perspective. And so that's really going to involve several different touch points. Retail has obviously changed a lot in the last year and a half during COVID. And so we're really going to talk about how those retail brands can create those best customer experiences, both from a digital perspective, in-person perspective, by really consolidating all of their data in Reltio. And so I just have a couple quick slides we'll walk through, and then we'll really jump into a quick platform demo and walk through how retailers can really bring all their data together to create those killer customer experiences. And so really what I wanted to focus on today is really how retailers can get a single view of their customers across all the various data silos out there. So most retailers really have mobile apps, they have an e-commerce presence, they have in-store brick and mortar activity happening, they have all their social media data, they have all those things happening on the front end. And then on the back end, you have your CRM data, you have your order management systems, your POS systems, all your loyalty programs. And then you might have some existing data tools like a CDP or a DMP as well. So imagine if retailers could take all those different data sources and find the relationships between all of them, connecting the data and unifying the silos for really a consolidated 360-degree view of the customer. So that's exactly what Reltio enables retailers to do, is to be able to take all these different data sources that might live within different teams and different departments at a given brand and really connect those to create a better customer experience. And so within Reltio, we can not only allow you to bring all these data sources together within the platform, but then connect and find relationships between all those data sources. So in this visualization, you'll see the ability to take all these different data sources and not only see them in one place, but see how they're related. So we'll touch on this a little bit more in the demo, but this is really showing you how, Reltio brings everything together in one place and then finds the relationships between those. And so here's kind of a visualization of, what's happening behind the scenes at a typical retailer. And so essentially what's happening here is taking all those data sources and bringing them together to enrich customer profiles and essentially create a golden record for each customer, or maybe even each store or each product. So essentially what you're doing is pulling in all those different data sources that we talked about and integrating them into Reltio and finding relationships between them, and then connecting them with maybe some existing reporting data that you might have. So Google BigQuery, Apache Spark, so on and so forth. And here's just a quick look at Reltio's core technologies. And so what's a little bit unique about Reltio is the approach here. And so Reltio has a NoSQL approach. And so, this is really going to allow you to make changes faster and easier and quicker within the platform here. We also have a graph approach here. And so this is looking at those relationships between everything. So, we can not only see the customer, but we can see the products they purchased, the store they purchased at, the mobile app that they used, and everything that's related there. We also have a Google-like search and query capability within the platform, which makes the platform very user-friendly. And so when you're searching for data, it's very easy to quickly search and find the information that you're looking for. Reltio also has a built-in collaboration and business process management workflow. So, if you need to create or update records, it's very easy to just very easily create and assign tasks from directly within the platform there. And it's also seamlessly connected, as I mentioned, to Google BigQuery, Apache Spark, and other analytics tools there. And then finally, Reltio is an API first platform. And so, this is going to allow you to connect with all of your existing data sources. And so you can essentially connect with all your existing data sources that are out there through our API first platform. So that's just kind of a couple quick bullet points here on who Reltio is and really how we take that approach to connect all your different data sources from a retail perspective. And now I'm going to jump into the platform here, and we're just going to walk through sort of a quick overview of really how a retailer is going to look at and manage all of these customer profiles here. Excuse me. And so what we're looking at here is essentially a golden record here. So Sarah Ann Brenna is our customer today. So we're just going to pretend we're a retailer here, and we're looking at Sarah Ann's profile within Reltio. And I want to walk through a couple things here. So this shows everything that Reltio does in one particular platform here. So this is going to be our sources view. And so I'll come back to this view in a second here, but very quickly, what we're looking at is every single color is going to be a different data source. So we mentioned that Reltio allows retailers to really bring together all of those different sources, all those different data points for one customer. And so this is really kind of the bread and butter of everything that Reltio is doing, bringing together all these different data sources to get a consolidated view of this particular customer's profile. So for example, here, this red color is going to be from one source, this yellow is another source, green is another source, so on and so forth. So each of these colors is really a representation of, a particular data source. So we'll come back to the sources view in just a few minutes, but this is just sort of a quick look at really how we bring together all that different data for this particular customer. So if you're a retailer, we can pull together that mobile app data, that email data, purchase history, and much more. So let's just jump back to the profile view and look at this a little bit more closely. So now that we have the background on really how Reltio can bring together all these different data sources, let's really look at this from a closer perspective and look at this consumer's profile, or golden record, as I really like to call it. So because we have data from so many different sources, if I scroll through this profile, I can see not only information about this customer themselves, but I can see what stores Sarah has purchased things from. I can see who they've interacted with. I can see relational data points between, this customer and other products or store employees, that sort of thing. So we can see her family members, client relationships, professional relationships, visited stores, product recommendations, purchased products, that sort of thing. And then we mentioned as we were going through the slides that Reltio has a built-in workflow. And so this is really going to be that place there where a data steward can come in here and they can make edits or changes, assign tasks to folks. So this is really all based on roles and permissions that are set up within Reltio here, but this is really going to be that place where those changes can be manually made. We can also automate a lot of that process using rules and rule sets, which we'll touch on just a little bit later. So if I jump back to that sources view here, let's take a little bit of a closer look here at really how we can match, merge, and survive data from all these different sources. So for example, let's just pretend, Sarah Ann here signed up for emails with their full name. And maybe, she purchased something at a store using her phone number, gave her phone number to the associate. And then maybe she used a different spelling when that associate entered that name into the POS system. So we have all these different pieces of information about Sarah here. And really, we can see we have all these different spellings, maybe, for Sarah. So essentially, there could be three different records or multiple different records for Sarah. And so with Reltio's matching, merging, and survivorship rules, this is really going to enable the ability to automatically pick and choose which aspect should be included, or which version of Sarah's name we want to use in this particular record here. Excuse me. And so these are just examples of things that can be done within Reltio in terms of pulling together all these different records for Sarah and which name she might use. That's just one example. But what Reltio can do is really automatically pull together all these different data sources, all these different pieces of information that different teams and different departments might have for Sarah, and pick and choose what sort of survives in this particular record or what's going to be displayed here. And this can be done kind of with rule sets. And so a rule set is really going to be the ability to determine, how we want to automatically display this information and choose which information is being showed or survived in this particular record here. So in this particular example, we can select, maybe it's recency or aggregation. And so these are all different examples of types of rules that can pull forward that particular data or that particular information. So the next thing I wanted to do is look at sort of the relationship graph view here, or the interactions view here. And so the interactions view is really going to be the place where we can see a track record or history of everything that Sarah has done with this particular retailer. And so if I scroll down here, we can see all the different interaction types. I can see the different attributes here. So you'll notice that we have some purchase history. We can see what Sarah's actually purchased, where she purchased it, that particular location, the date, the time, and other details here as well. So this can be really helpful, from a customer experience perspective, to be able to see exactly what she purchased, when she purchased it, where she purchased it, and all the details there. So if Sarah has an issue or a problem with something, we can actually go back and see all that relevant information that we need. The other thing to notice is this graph view here as well. And so this graph view is really going to be bringing together those relationships between Sarah and the products that she purchased and the locations she purchased them at and who she actually maybe purchased from. And so this is looking at a visualization of all those different relationships that Sarah might have with different people she interacted with, specific stores. And so this is really just a visualization of what's happening within Reltio. It's looking at not just Sarah, but everyone she interacted with, all the products she purchased, all of those particular locations. So that's sort of a quick overview of how, a data steward at a retailer might actually look at a profile like Sarah and see everything that's happened. Now, if I'm a data steward and, my market, let's just say I'm a data steward at a retailer and the marketing team or advertising team wants a list of customers who live in a specific state and, they purchased a certain product and they want me to export a list of all those individuals. What I can do is actually come and search for a list of all those people that meet that criteria. Now, there's a couple different ways to search within Reltio, and I'll just walk through some of those different ways. And so within Reltio, there's a few different ways to generate that list of consumers who purchased a product, who maybe live in a certain area. And so the first way we can search for those people is through a Google-like search up here at the top. And so within this search bar, this is really where this data steward at a retailer could come in and just start searching for really any aspect. And so if I just start searching for Sarah, you'll notice that we can pull up different individuals. If I search for, products, if I start typing in a specific product or, name of a store, we notice within this search here, this is really where Reltio can pull up search results for different entity types. So we can see stores, individuals, products, everything that really meets that search criteria. So that Google-like search is really the quickest and the easiest way to search within Reltio to find, maybe something that meets your specific search criteria. The second way to search here is a faceted search. And you can think of this as more of like an e-commerce website. So if you've ever purchased something on Amazon or, shopped for a car online, something like that, you're probably accustomed to this type of search. So over here on the left-hand side, you'll notice we have different checkboxes, and then we have different attributes and tag different fields here. So this is really where we can go search by a specific facet that meets all of that particular criteria. So we're searching for individuals. This is where we can also add maybe location or, maybe it's under city here. So this is really where I'd be able to get very granular on everything that meets that criteria. So if that marketing and advertising team wants a list of people who purchased a certain product, I can go and select those very quickly and easily over here. So that's going to work just like an e-commerce site. Or if I need to get a little bit more advanced, maybe that marketing team wants to get even more granular and they ask me for a list of consumers who maybe live in a specific city, they purchase certain products, and maybe they have 5 or 10 other specific criteria. So this is really where we can come in and get very, very granular here with this more advanced search here. So we can see where, in this particular example here, we can see the tag equals something specific, a custom tag. In this particular example, IR is just interesting record. That's our demo example here. But then we can go and select things like locations, products they purchased, and many other kind of facets here. And so once I go select all of those search criteria that I'm looking for, I can just very quickly and easily export this list of customers and then send it to that marketing advertising team. And then maybe they go create an ad campaign and send ads out to all of those people that meet that particular search criteria. Now, finally, the last thing I really wanted to touch on today, where a data steward could really have the need to look at a quick snapshot of everything that's happening in their environment here. And so maybe they want to see from a retail perspective how many new records they have, how many customers have been updated or added to this particular system, how many records have been matched or merged. And so this dashboard view is really going to be that place where you can come in and look at all of those things in one screen here. And so up here at the top, this is really going to be that place where we can see all the records that have been recently updated in the last 7 days here. On the right-hand side here, we can see tasks. So if anything has been assigned to me to update records or approve record changes, that sort of thing, that's going to be in this tasks inbox here. I can also see team tasks. And then if I scroll down, we can see any sort of data quality issues here. So if there's issues that need to be resolved, we can look at those. I can also see a full activity log and an audit trail. So if I'm working on updating a record, and let's just say I go on a lunch break and close out my computer, this is where I can very quickly and easily come back and see what I was working on before I went to lunch. So that's good from a workflow perspective, but it's also really good from a governance perspective as well. So full compliance there, you can see who's making changes and updates to all those customer records. And then all these widgets here in the middle are visualizations. So these are a way where you can really visualize what's happening within your tenant environment here. So for example, if you wanted to see, a visualization of customer records that are all missing a phone number or, missing an email address or something like that, these can all be visualized in this dashboard here. So you can really think of this dashboard view as kind of that home page or that home screen where a data steward at a retailer could come in and look at this every morning and better understand what's happening with all of their customer data and all of their customer records. Excuse me. And then they'll know really where they can go spend their time to update all of their data here. So that's kind of the quick overview of the platform here. I hope this was really insightful for all the retailers out there to better understand really how they can manage all of that data, how they can get a quick look at all of their customers' profiles here. So, we touched on the ability to look at those customer profiles, see all the relationships that they have between products, between, folks they've interacted with, stores they've interacted with. We touched on the ability to search for those particular profiles and export that list so you can share it with all the different teams that need it. And then finally, we touched on the dashboard view here as well. So really the ability to visualize and have a quick snapshot of all the customer data that's being pulled in here from a retailer, and very quickly and easily make those decisions that you need to make. So I'll pause there, but I hope this was insightful. And if there's any questions, feel free to interact or put them in the chat. But thanks for tuning in, and appreciate everyone joining.
Thanks so much, Dan. That's perfect. A fantastic retail demo of getting that customer 360 and complete view of customers so that you can give them the experiences that they want, but also that they've come to expect. So I hope, like you say, Dan, as Dan said, this was a benefit to you watching live here on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, there's been no interaction so far. However, this video will continue to be available for people to look at on LinkedIn. So by all means, go ahead and interact, ask questions if you have them, put them in the LinkedIn post comments page, and we'll be more than happy to follow up with you. Dan, if I can ask you just to go back to the slide deck for me and just, there we go, it's perfect, thank you. I just wanted to leave people today with two things. First of all, to say thank you for your time and attending today. As I said, I put a link in the LinkedIn post, reltio.com/request a demo. If you want a specific demo that's going to meet your specific needs, so I'm more than happy to follow up with you on that. And if you go to the next slide for me, Dan, I just wanted to leave everybody with the fact that we are all across social media. So not just here on LinkedIn, obviously we're across Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Highly recommend you check us out on those channels. There's a lot of content there that will tell you more about Reltio. And including YouTube, we have a huge library of short, sharp, snackable pieces of content that give you just the right amount of information to get you started with Reltio and get you to understand what we do and how we do it. Well, with that, Dan, thank you so much. On behalf of everybody, thank you for your time. And thanks for watching today. And we'll catch you next time on LinkedIn Live. Take care, everybody.